What is up, you freaky folks? My name is Nick, and welcome to my channel, where I cover all things horror and general entertainment stuff. Whatever you're watching, I'm making videos about. Every month I take a look at all of the streaming services to find lists of recommendations for you guys. And since we're talking Amazon Prime in this video, it's gonna be an expanded list. I've got my top 10, but I quickly want to share some movies with you that are going to be leaving at the end of the month that I think you should check out before they're gone. Like Sex and the City, I know, whatever, just go with it. Leviathan, The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, White Bird and a Blizzard, Scarecrows, and a movie that I considered putting on the list of recommendations, so I'm interested to hear what you guys think about it. Hide and Seek is a thriller from the mid-2000s. I can't imagine it's loved, but again, I do kind of want to recommend it, so let me know what you guys think. With that down, let's get into the top 10, but I'm gonna have some bonuses, so make sure you stick around until the end, and then let me know what your favorites are.
If you're one of the millions of Americans who still believes that honesty, integrity, and fidelity are the cornerstones of our democracy, we suggest you wait for another preview before getting your popcorn.
Number 10 is Election. This dark comedy from Alexander Payne stars Matthew Broderick as a high school teacher who goes toe-to-toe with an overachieving student up for student body president, played by Reese Witherspoon. Given the fact that we just went through a major election, I think this suggestion is apt. Hopefully we can all just sit back and laugh at how crazy a little election can make people.
On the road to greatness, never underestimate an overachiever.
Looks like you could use a cupcake.
Election.
Number 9 is Labyrinth. This fantasy adventure from Jim Henson stars Jennifer Connelly as a teen girl who must venture through a mystical realm to rescue her baby brother from the Goblin King, played by David Bowie. Maybe you were a Never-Ending Story kid, or a Dark Crystal kid, or even a Legend kid, but I think we're all Labyrinth kids, you know what I mean? And this is one that is leaving at the end of the month. Sorry, I know. Don't worry, that's it for titles that are leaving the service. But come on, it's Labyrinth. I had to.
Where you go with a head like that?
Number 8 is 28 Days Later. This zombie survival horror is about a virus that overtakes the world and turns people into rage monsters. London inhabitants must band together in order to survive an apocalyptic world. I know you sticklers will come for me for classifying this as a zombie film, but come on, it is. And it's one of the most realistic. The reason the zombie subgenre is so saturated today is because 28 Days Later is so damn good, everything wants to be it. I will say I do think the movie falls into some trappings that I don't love, but overall, 28 Days Later is one of the best horror films of the 2000s and should obviously be considered a modern classic. Number 7 is The Farewell, a family drama from director Lulu Wang that stars Awkwafina as a woman who heads to China with her family to attend a wedding assembled purely to bring them together to see the family matriarch as she has just been diagnosed with a terminal illness. This is a heartfelt and true story, but also a very funny movie, and one of the best, more recent family dramas I could recommend that should warm your soul this Thanksgiving.
好多了，好多了，好多了，再来点气儿，再来点气儿。
Number 6 is House Arrest. This 90s family comedy is about a group of teenagers who want to stop their parents from separating, so they decide to lock them in a basement until they sort their differences out. This is a silly kids movie, but it stars both Jamie Lee Curtis and Jennifer Love Hewitt. That might not be enough for you, but don't worry, I have a bunch more suggestions.
House arrest.
It's Mom!
Later.
Number 5 is The Rules of Attraction. This twisted dramedy based on a book by Bret Easton Ellis is about a group of privileged college students who make all the mistakes in the world while engaging in sex and drugs like there's no tomorrow. This movie is certainly not for everyone. I'm sure many of you will find it off-putting. I happen to enjoy this movie even though it does dabble in questionable material, as Bret Easton Ellis and director Roger Avery often do, but let me know if I'm alone on this one.
Abstinence is one 100% safe, which is less of a percentage than—
Whatever, I don't care. I don't major in math.
Number 4 is Girl Interrupted, a drama based on a true story. Winona Ryder plays writer Susanna Kaysen, who is admitted to a mental institution in the late 1960s. The film explores her experience as she befriends the unstable Lisa, played by Angelina Jolie, who won an Oscar for her performance. This was directed by James Mangold, who would go on to do Logan and Ford v Ferrari, and it co-stars Clea Duvall, Angela Bettis, Elizabeth Moss, Whoopi Goldberg, and the late Brittany Murphy. I absolutely love this movie. If you have not already seen it, I would consider Girl Interrupted a must-watch.
Uncertainty about goals and a generally pessimistic attitude are often observed. Oh, that's me.
That's everybody.
Number 3 is Nancy, a character study drama starring Andrea Riseborough as a woman who believes she was abducted as a child and sets out to meet her supposed real parents. This is a very slow and quiet film, and it doesn't exactly give you the answers you might be looking for. This is not the movie to throw on if you're looking to simply wind down and watch something enjoyable, but if you're interested in explorations of disturbed characters, Nancy offers a lot to chew on.
I think that I might be your daughter, Brooke.
Who is this?
Not a joke. My name's Nancy, and I think that my mother might have kidnapped me 30 years ago. It would explain a lot of things in my life.
Number 2 is Almost Famous. This Academy Award-winning dramedy from director Cameron Crowe is about a bright teen boy in 1970s America. He manages to convince Rolling Stone he's an adult writer and is assigned to write an article on a rock band. He has the experience of a lifetime as he hits the road with the band, learning about life, love, and consequences. This is another one of my all-time favorites. I love this movie. I do own the bootleg cut Blu-ray, and normally I prefer all of the director's cut versions of everything, but I have to say, the original theatrical cut is what works for me best, and that's what's streaming on Amazon Prime, and it's the version that I think is honestly quite perfect.
Your mom called!
Rock stars have kidnapped my son.
Number 1 is Fatal Attraction. Yes, it is time to go there. We are talking about the number 1 erotic thriller, the number 1 stalker movie, the best dark love story, Fatal Attraction. Michael Douglas plays a married man who begins an affair with the seductive Glenn Close. When he tries to end things and go back to his normal family life, she refuses to be ignored and begins stalking him and ruining his life. I think this is one of the best thrillers ever. Every time I watch it, I find a greater appreciation for it. This is why I love Amazon Prime, guys. They have all of my favorite movies. I find it so interesting because back when it came out in the 80s, this was popularized as a cautionary tale for men, like, hey, don't cheat on your wife with the wrong woman. Yet now I think today the next generation looks at it as a different way, and we empathize with Glenn Close's character and look at it kind of as a cautionary tale of the dangers of becoming involved with a married man. I love when a movie can work in more than one way, and I like that both interpretations I have work for me personally. If you haven't already watched Fatal Attraction, trust me, it's amazing, and let me know, what do you think of it?
I'm not gonna be ignored. Alicia, where's Ellen?
She's gone.
Call the police.
I also want to point out that Knives Out is still currently streaming on Amazon Prime. I recommended it in one of these videos a few months back, but it's an unofficial Thanksgiving movie, so I figure you might want to watch that this month, along with Blood Rage, probably the best Thanksgiving horror film we have, since there are like no Thanksgiving horror films. It's an 80s slasher. It's totally bonkers and ridiculous. I talked about it in my TUBI video, but it's available on Amazon Prime, where you can also watch it without the ads, which of course is great. Lastly, they added the director's cut of Hell House LLC, which I have not watched myself, but I'm sure many of you will want to check out. And now it's time for my bad movie recommendation of the month, and it has to be Maximum Overdrive. Yes, the only thing that Stephen King directed, an adaptation of his own short story where trucks all just kind of come to life and begin hunting down people. Now, in concept, it does seem very Stephen King, and I mean, it kind of works in the short story, but this is so ridiculous. In the movie itself, I mean, off the walls crazy. Stephen King said he was coked out during the entire time while making this movie, which shows on screen because this movie is erratic as all hell, but I love a bad movie, and Maximum Overdrive is about as bad as it gets. That is my list of the best movies to watch on Amazon Prime in the month of November. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I greatly appreciate it as always. Let me know what your favorites are in the comments. What do you think of Hide and Seek, Fatal Attraction, Knives Out, all that good stuff? I want to hear your opinions. Feel free to follow me on Instagram, subscribe to my channel, and hit that bell and turn on your notifications. That way you're actually notified when I upload. That way you don't miss any creepy content. That's it for this video, but I won't stop you from watching another.